There is a ghost that haunts every stadium Harry Styles sells out. A memory that lives in the silence between the lyrics of every Louis Tomlinson song. It's the story of a bond forged in the chaotic heart of a pop culture hurricane. A bond so intense, so magnetic, it captivated millions. And then, it vanished. But what if the disappearance wasn't the end of the story? What if it was the story? We've all heard the whispers. We've all seen the compilations. We all have the same burning question that has lingered for over a decade. But this isn't just a story about what might have been. This is a story about what was taken. This is the autopsy of a fallout. They were the heart of the world's biggest band. And then they were strangers standing on the same stage. The world was never given the real story. Just pieces, fragments, silence. In this video, we will assemble those fragments. We will connect the whispers, decode the lyrics, and expose the machine that turned a sacred bond into a public controversy. Because the truth of what happened between Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson isn't just about love or friendship. It's about what happens when a billion-dollar brand decides your truth is a liability. Part 1. Two soldiers in a trench. The year is 2010, the X Factor. A whirlwind of cameras, contracts, and manufactured chaos. 5 boys, virtual strangers, are told they are now a band, a product, a phenomenon. In that storm, 2 of them found an anchor. Harry, the charming supernova of charisma. Louis, the sharp, witty, protective leader. They were like 2 soldiers in a trench. Surrounded by the noise of sudden, terrifying fame, they found their foxhole in each other. Louis once said it himself. "We hit it off straight away. I think we needed each other." They didn't just hit it off. They were inseparable. The endless inside jokes during interviews, the lingering glances, the way they always seemed to gravitate towards each other in a crowded room. To the fans watching, it was pure. It was real. It was the one authentic thing in a world that was becoming increasingly fake. But here's the devastating truth about something pure. It can be captured. It can be analysed. And in the world of pop music, it can be weaponized. Their bond wasn't a secret. It was a spectacle. And that spectacle would soon become a battleground. Part 2. The birth of a myth. As One Direction conquered the world, a universe was being built in the digital shadows. Fans became detectives, digital archaeologists. They dissected every lyric, analysed every tattoo, debated every seemingly coded tweet. The conclusion was explosive. Harry and Louis weren't just friends, they were in love, and they were being hidden by a homophobic management. It wasn't just a theory, it became a belief system, an article of faith. A name was given to it, Larry Stillinson. This belief wasn't born from malice, it was born from love, a desire to see 2 people be free. But what happens when an audience's love becomes a cage? The very fans who wanted to liberate them began to suffocate them. Every interaction was now scrutinised through the Larry lens. Every girlfriend was a PR stunt. Every denial was proof of the cover-up. Louis, always the most direct, began to crack under the pressure. He'd lash out online. "It's a conspiracy. It's not real. And it's affecting my actual relationships." Harry retreated. He became a fortress of ambiguity, a poet of the unspoken. His silence was interpreted as confirmation. And behind the curtain, the machine that owned them saw an opportunity and a threat. Part 3. The machine fights back. By 2013, One Direction was a well-oiled machine of perception management, a global brand worth a fortune. And Larry Stylinson? It was a bug in the code, a variable they couldn't control, so they decided to eliminate it. Insiders and fan accounts meticulously documented the change. They were seated apart in interviews, booked in separate cars, housed on different hotel floors. The infamous Sofagate, where they were physically moved apart, became a symbol of the new regime. Their public image had to be clean, marketable, heteronormative. The bond that had been a source of comfort was now officially a public relations problem. Lewis described the chilling effect this had. It created a barrier. We stopped being as close. I couldn't even look at him without people twisting it. Think about that. The fear of perception became more powerful than the reality of their friendship. To protect the brand, they were forced to police themselves. To save their careers, they were told to sacrifice their connection. But the machine did something worse than just separate them physically. It planted a seed of doubt between them. It made them question the very nature of their own bond. It turned their safe space into a source of anxiety. Part 4. The deafening silence. The fallout wasn't an explosion. It was a slow, creeping frost. By 2015, the warmth was gone. The on-stage banter was replaced with professional distance. The backstage jokes were replaced with a heavy, deafening silence. They were co-workers now, strangers in a shared spotlight. The change was so stark, so absolute, that it felt like a collective grief for the entire fandom. And in their solo music, the silence began to speak. Harry penned lyrics that felt like unsent letters from two ghosts. We're not who we used to be, tasting lipstick on your coffee cup. From the dining table. Woke up alone in this hotel room, even played with myself. Where were you? Louis, in turn, wrote songs of loyalty and loss, from Always You. I went to Amsterdam without you, and all I could do was think about you. These weren't just songs. They were confessions made to a microphone because they could no longer be made to each other. Everyone was looking for the one fight that broke them, the one big argument. But they were wrong. There was no single event. It was a death by 1,000 cuts. Every fan theory, every management rule, every forced photo op, every silenced conversation was another cut, until there was nothing left to bleed. Part 5. Two kings in separate castles. After the hiatus, they built new kingdoms. Harry became a Technicolor icon, untouchable, fluid, free. He built a fortress of Gucci and ambiguity where he never had to confirm or deny anything. Louis went the other way. He grounded himself. He became the king of his own northern kingdom, built on brutal honesty, resilience, and a fierce loyalty to his past. But he had to address the ghost. In 2017, he gave his most direct denial. It was never real. It actually put a strain on things. Listen to those words again. He wasn't just angry. He was grieving. It wasn't just a denial. It was a eulogy. A eulogy for a friendship that was so profound, the world decided it had to be a romance, and in doing so, destroyed it completely. The final reveal. We've been asking the wrong question for over a decade. The question isn't, were Harry and Lewis secretly in love? The real question is, what could they have been if the world hadn't interfered? Friendship? Romance? A deep, platonic soulmate connection that defies labels? We will never know, because they were never given the chance to find out for themselves. Their story is a tragedy, not because of what happened, but because of what was never allowed to happen. It was a rare, beautiful plant placed in a glass box, and the world tapped on the glass so relentlessly that it shattered, letting all the poison in. The greatest heartbreak wasn't a breakup, it was the theft of a possibility. The story of Harry and Louis forces us to ask a difficult question. How much ownership does an audience have over an artist's life? Was the real tragedy the industry machine? Or was it the fandom's desperate need to believe in a love story? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. This is a conversation we need to have. And if you believe some stories deserve to be told, like this video and share it. Subscribe and hit the bell, because in our next video, We're investigating the story of the one member who tried to blow the whistle on the whole machine and paid the price. You don't want to miss it. Until then, remember, the most important truths are often the ones that are never spoken aloud.